Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to do like a story time with you. I've never really done a story like about my life on YouTube, but I feel this is a very monumental one for me, which I feel can help you guys that have gone through the same thing, if you have recently or have in the past or will in the future. I want to share a little bit of my knowledge on something that happened to me on the 15th of August 2016. I normally try and make videos that make you all smile and joy, but I feel like something like this I need to get off my chest for you guys too, and it'll make a lot of sense. So on this day last year, my cat of, I believe she was of 18 years, so I had her since I was basically 2 or 3. She passed away, and everyone has a different relationship with pets. Some people don't see much of a deal if anything did happen to them, but to me she was like my life, my gold, and I wanted to tell you my story of what happened and I hope it helps you in the future if you ever have a pet of yours that does pass over. So essentially, the day before she passed, I had gone to a friend's house to see her. It was a birthday quite recently, and I went to go give her a present and have a catch up from uni. And as I was walking home, my mum was passing to take my dad to the train station for work, and she says, "Oh, I'll give you a lift home because I'm going back there anyway." And it's like, "Oh, thank you." And she says in the car that that morning upstairs up here, in the morning when I first saw her, she was as like happy as can be, peering away. She had a little area. It's weird to talk about past tense still, and it's nearly a year, but we had a little area in my mum's bedroom with a window, and she used to just chill out there and watch the world go by, and she was happy as can be. But in the time frame of me going to my friends and coming home, she had come down the stairs and just collapsed on the floor. And with what makes me so sad is that I don't know what happened up here, if she had a stroke or it was just a really bad turn, but whatever happened up here when she was by herself, she never righted from it. And I felt really guilty because I wasn't here, because as I come home and I saw her, and she was just, we had a little cat tent for her, and she just sat in there, bless her. We were trying to give her some water because it was really, really hot, of course, like August is. And essentially she wasn't drinking, she wasn't eating, and we knew this was a bad sign. But as I'd come upstairs earlier, I have a little rug in my room and it felt wet, so it was like she, bless her, like weed herself, which she hasn't done before ever. And it made me even more upset because I thought she must have come in my room to see if someone was here like me, because I tend to be there on that particular day. Not like she would have known like the schedule of whatever, but that turned me up a bit. But like that night we says we'll phone the vets in the morning, hopefully it's just a little turn. Sometimes she would have been quite stubborn and not eat for a good like day, and we thought maybe it's one of those turns. So we called the vet the next day and we got an appointment for 3 o'clock, and bless her, in the space of that time she had an 8. I went to the shops just to see if I could get her some other special treats. They didn't work, and I knew, you know, you just have a feeling something's wrong, but you can't do anything at that time to help. So we essentially took her to the vets, and they're part of a big branch, so we didn't know this at the time, but we had in our little town, we went to their inner branch, but they also had one at the town centre which we didn't know about, and she says we had to take her there to put her on a drip. She says she's really dehydrated, which of course she would have been. She couldn't give us too much answers at that time. She says she might need to have a blood test, and we were okay. At least it didn't sound too serious as of yet. Like, she didn't look as concerned. So when we took her to the one in town, I felt really bad because it just felt we were just taking her from place to place, and that was the least of what she needed anyway. But when we took her there, they says we'd have to keep her overnight. And with never having her not there, it felt awful not having her at home. Like, she would like, we have a door as you come through to the living room and the stairs upstairs, and it kept like opening by itself. It must have just been the wind, of course, at that time. And we kept thinking, oh, it just felt like she was just coming down as she always did. And essentially we had to leave her there. They were going to do a blood test, but within the hour of when we've come back, but the phone rang, and we thought that's very, very quick. This could mean something's very wrong, and of course they said she had cancer within her stomach. So we would have to in time take her back to put her down, would be the most rational thing to do. And of course you wouldn't want your animal to suffer no matter what they're going through, and it's such a hard decision, but it's your choice. You're the one, their life is in your hands, and you have to be the one that makes that decision for them. But if it's for their happiness, you would do anything. So we were trying to sell with that ourselves, but they said they had given her the drip. She was very perky, and we thought that sounded very good, and we would be able to go get her in the morning. And we were just that night just trying to think positive, but also think of rationalising our heads that we'll have to say goodbye to her at some point in the future. So basically it was 10 to 11, I can't remember the time exact, and the phone rang, and the vet said to my mum she had passed away. But in the space of the time of her going, she hadn't slept for a whole night, and I feel like she was just holding out because she didn't want to do it in front of us. But my mum, me, stayed with her up the night before, most of the night as we possibly could, and she just didn't want to sleep. And we thought she must have been fighting it so hard, because she thought if she closed her eyes she would be able to open them again. So we says, can we go get her? So we said of course. So we went to get her straight away. I just felt so sad because I wish they would have just called us and said, I think she might be passing, and we could just be there for her to see us. But I think I'd rather be there than not be there, and for her to be in a room with strangers, because, you know, I don't know why you might think like that, but you just feel you'd want to be with your loved ones if you knew it was going to be the last minute here. So basically when we went to get her, the vet seemed very rushed, and we didn't know what for. When he brought her out, of course for the first time seeing her like she was, he brought her out in the wrong box, and it more sucker punched me because this might sound so stupid, but she loved her little cat box. She would absolutely love playing in there with her mouse, and with her not being in that one, it felt really like, I don't know, it just really upset me even more so, because why would you not have her in the right little cat box, you know. It's just, I'm sure they would have known which one she came in. It just felt like they weren't thinking very clearly. But honestly, vets, I don't know how they do what they do, but it's just the little things can help so much. But he seemed very rushed. He didn't really want to speak about how she went. He was just more concerned with going with where we wanted to go. And when we got into the car park, trying to like get control of ourselves, because when we says, oh, it's her wrong box, you just heard him in the next room like shuffling them around just very quickly, and it just felt horrible because it was like, we're sorry for keeping you, we just lost like a member of a family. But it was just very a mixture of emotions, and I'm not one for being of a negative person, but I just felt like they weren't being as sympathetic as they could be. And when we got into our car park, we realised he was getting in his car and he was rushing to go home, because basically Duchess, that was her name, that was the only animal they must have had in, which then could mean he could go home. So basically he was just more concerned about being able to go home. I understand he might have had a really long shift and wanted to go, and they have to switch off their emotions when it comes to this kind of thing, but it just felt very cold. Like, and when we were leaving her there earlier, the nurses, of course, they would say, she's going to be okay, she's going to be fine, because I was crying there, because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with her for a night. Not processing the fact that would be the last time I would see her. And I wish they would have just kind of made it clear that it could have been, but they didn't make that clear. Well, of course, you can't predict these kind of things sometimes. So I brought her home. I didn't sleep that night because I feel I would have recovered a little bit more if she had just fell asleep at home in a little cat bed and just passed on. I feel I would have recovered that a bit more, but because of the coldness and rushness of the vets, it made it even more of a worse scenario. So I just wanted to, I didn't know what to do, what to say, except cuddle her, because that's what I would do whenever I was upset. So basically, I'm sorry for crying as well, I don't know, it's still fresh in minds, like it would be fresh in your minds, I guess. So we basically, the next day, we looked up a crematorium, because I know with your pets sometimes you do bury them in the back garden, and because she was an indoor cat, it just felt wrong to put her in the garden, because she was so a homebody. She like loved her home so much. So we looked up a crematorium for pets and we took her there. And I honestly can't tell you how amazing they were to us. They were so kind, so understanding. Like, didn't rush us. I didn't even know they were gonna do this, but I don't know if you've experienced when a family member passes on and you go to the chapel rest to see them once more, and they're all laid out and you can see them and talk to them. They did that for her. Like, we're gonna take her into this room next door and you can come see her beforehand. And I had her wrapped up in the blanket and they laid her out so perfectly, and we have her little favourite toys, and it was just, even though it's something you wouldn't want to see, it was so beautiful. After the night we had, it was so beautiful to see her at peace. And the lady was so lovely. Well, I don't know if you guys would have this, but she says, would you like a little piece of her fur? And I says, I'd love to, you know, just as a because you're not going to see her fur ever again. And she had the most beautiful fur, like ragdolls and just like the puff of clouds. And it was like, thank you so much. And that was such a lovely touch. And when we got her, when she come out, it was done within the space of an hour, but we didn't want to be there when it was done and hearing the furnace and that. I don't think we would have kept with that. But they truly did an amazing job. And when we were there, I didn't know this was a thing. But they had an advertisement for Ashes to Glass, which is where you can take your family, friends, animals' ashes and basically make them into jewellery or a paperweight, or I forgot what the others were, but they looked absolutely beautiful. And in time I will get one of those to always have them with me. Like, they have the most beautiful like sapphire blue rings and necklaces, and she had the most beautiful sapphire eyes, so in the future that's what I will go for. But I guess it would be very hard to just go back because of how you felt at that time. You don't forget it, it stays with you, and I could not recommend them enough for how they helped us. We sent them a thank you card as well, because they just were so lovely. And essentially the message of my story is to hold your pets as tight as possible, because you never know when it's their time to go. And growing up with Duchess, I had the best memories, the best times. Like, I feel I have to write them down so I'll never forget them, because time can be a tricky thing, and I have the memory of a sieve sometimes, but things like that I do remember quite clearly. And I want to always remember the good times, never the bad. But when it comes to your best friend passing, the little things kind of matter. And I'd say try not to worry too much about limited time. Just think of it as loving time, like, because there's nothing you can do. It's in your power to stop things like that from happening. And basically just hold them as tight as possible, because, you know, I'm sure that your pets are to you as they are to me treasure. And I wanted to share my story just as to share my experience and prove to you that even though I was very depressed at the time, it doesn't, I can't say it does get better, but you learn to deal with it. You just learn to carry on. And the lady which we got Duchess from, she was a really renowned breeder for ragdolls in Otley. And we said in time we can call her and see if she has any kittens available, because of Duchess being the character what she was. We know going to her again, we have kind of give tribute to her as well. And we gave her a call the week after she passed, and she had kittens available there and then, which I didn't know at the time if I was ready, because essentially it felt very soon. But also I couldn't be in the house alone at that time. I couldn't, because that's when I felt it the most of missing her, because she was your partner in crime when you were the only one there. And so in the process I did want to get a new pet, but also didn't want to feel like I was rushing it just for the sake of it, because it was still so fresh. But she said if you don't want the kittens this time round, it would be a good 6 months till the next litter of kittens came, and we thought that felt like a very long time. So we thought we would just go up, just go look, just to see. So this was the following week, which sounds crazy fast. I know to some people that would not be what you would want to do. I didn't feel I was ready for it. But when we went to her house, and we basically said we wanted 2 little girls because we thought if we got 2 together, that each of us company for when we're out, and also it's nice for sisters and brothers to stay together in the litter so they're not as scared as well. And my auntie, she has 2 cats and they play together beautifully, so we essentially would have loved 2 girls. And oh my gosh, when she brought them through, I was in love, like, because I don't know if it's because I don't remember Duchess as a kid too much because I was very, very young at the time, but it was like the first time seeing kittens to me, and it was beautiful. Like, I believe they were 6 months old, and believe it or not, this may sound crazy, but they were living on raw meat. That's all they would eat. We had to get specialised raw meat for them, which sounds so gross. And she said they would have as a treat a raw chicken leg. You can't write this stuff up. It was like they were pure like tigers or lions or something. So my mum picked a name for one of the kittens. I picked the name for the other kitten. We thought it would make it quite fair. Mine essentially went with Luna. The reason why I went with Luna is because Harry Potter is a huge inspiration of mine, and Luna Lovegood is one of my favourite characters, and when I saw this kitten, she looked so much like a Luna. I don't know if you've seen in past pictures, she has the most beautiful grey, white fur and the biggest blue eyes. And my mum, she was quite torn on what to go by, but she went with, and huge high five to you guys that all know this, in Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Angel, the TV shows that were big in the 90s, early 20s, there was a vampire in that called Angel who was her love interest, and he would be like a good vampire, a bit like basically Edward from Twilight. He'd be a good vampire, but sometimes he went off his rocks and turned like the bad vampire. And his name when he was bad was Angelus. So that's what she chose for her little girl, as Angelus Orb. And I basically call her Angel for short, and to this day she has so many mannerisms of Duchess, I can't tell you. And she looks more and more like her each day, because with ragdolls their fur takes 2 years to fully form, and every day she's getting more and more like her. Like, I could try and put a picture side by side for you, but it's crazy. And with her name fitting so well to it as well, but honestly I thought getting those 2 little girls was so soon, so soon, but it actually helped a hell of a lot because it gave your mind something else to focus on. You didn't feel so alone when you were in the house, and it just made it a lot easier than I thought it would, to be honest. It just, I don't know how you would think it would make you feel better, but it did. And it is now a year on. The babies are a year old. They are full of energy still. They don't eat raw meat anymore. That was basically for 2 months I had to keep that up for. And they are I'm truly blessed to have them in my life. And I honestly hope it in time, a long time away, if that was to ever happen again, it wouldn't go down the same way. So I'm so sorry this video wasn't that cheerful, but I felt like it was something I could share with you guys, and I'm sure you can relate to, and I just wanted to help have a tribute for her, with it being a year since she's passed. And I just wish it didn't have to end how it did, But I feel like as well, if we had to make the decision to put her down, I don't know if that would feel even more worse, but with us being there as well. But it's a crazy situation because you don't know how to react in it unless you're in it. And truly, I miss her so much every day. And hope one day I will see her again. That's what helps me to carry on. That it's not goodbye, it's just see you soon. So, and I always think that she's here with us as well, and I always talk to her still in our crazy little chats. But I hope this video would have helped you in any way possible if you're worried about your pet or have lost a pet recently. And I will see you in my next video, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you guys soon.
I used to be so happy, but without you here I feel so low. I watched you as you left, but I can never seem to let you go. 'Cause once upon a time you were my everything. It's clear to see the time hasn't changed a thing. It's buried deep inside me, but I feel there's something you should know. I will never forget you, and you will always be by my side. From the day that I met you, I knew that I would love you till the day I die. And I will never want much more, and in my heart I will always be sure I will never forget you, and you will always be by my side till the day I die. Till the day I die. Feeling it, loving it, everything that we do. All along I knew I had something special with you, but sometimes you just gotta know that these things fall through. But I'm still tired and I can't hide my connection with you. Feeling it, loving it, everything that we do. And all along I knew I had something special with you, but sometimes you just gotta know that these things fall through. I can't find